Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NuWhoZone's NuWhoZone. We're here for Nightmare in Silver. Yeah, not everybody's favorite episode, but you know what? The sooner we get it done, the better. So, without further ado, I will bring on all my guests, and nice to see so many of you in the chat as well. So, let us start off by bringing on our first guest. It's the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello. There's some tiny bits which aren't terrible.
Well, overall, it's terrible. But look, it's been ages since I've seen it, so we'll see. We'll see. Might have a different opinion considering the few years that we've had. So it might look Oscar worthy compared to what we've been used to over these last few years. So we'll give it a go. Anyway, our next guest is the one and only Problem Bin. Yeah, he's not. He just doesn't want to do this, but it doesn't matter. We got Real Super Doctor.
Hello.
And we've got the one and only PD Rich.
Bonjour, mon Capitan.
So, guys, from the way the panel's reacting tonight, not a particularly favorite episode of many on this panel. So,
that's not bad.
The nightmare in Silver. Yeah.
Well, this one's an interesting one because Gaiman has said quite a bit in the last couple of years about the process of writing this episode and what happened with higher ups, and he has spoke about that.
Yeah.
That basically the original, maybe the original script he did would have been a lot different.
Yeah. Well, if everybody in the chat is ready, you know what to do. Press that one. Oh, look at this. I haven't put the PlayStation on in a long time. All my games are bloody updating. Jesus Christ.
Typical, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always the same.
They'll do that in the background, though, won't they?
I'll be fine. It'll download in the background. It won't interfere with my DVD that I have on, but I'm just saying it's actually funny. I haven't even turned this on in about 3 weeks. Sorry for everybody that does watch the gaming channel. It's just sometimes I need to take a break from the gaming, you know, because it gets too, I get lost in it and then I don't do feck all. So that's why I haven't gamed in 3 weeks, but I'll probably start up again next week or something. There you go. Anyway, we got ones in the chat, so I reckon, Charlotte, without further ado, you can do the countdown and we can get this ridiculous episode done and over with.
We'll have fun anyway. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. There's the fake Earth. Oh, my controller's decided to do something funny.
Actually.
Oh, so it's coming through on somebody's speaker.
Right, someone needs to turn. Yeah, you need to turn down your volume now. You know by now. I shouldn't have to say it every week. Just keep the volume down.
Yeah, I can hear somebody's audio.
Well, what you hear is off.
Yeah, I'm just saying the iPad I'm watching is mute right now.
Yeah.
And you definitely can't hear mine because I've got one earphone in and I've playing it through the.
Well, I'm playing it through my
PlayStation
headphones.
controller.
I don't know what else I can do. You know.
Well, you might have to turn it down as low as you can.
Well, I have turned it down.
It is better now.
Yeah.
She's a known actress, isn't she? The captain.
Yeah, she was on
she's
EastEnders for
in
years.
EastEnders.
Yeah, for
Tamsin
years.
Outwait.
Yeah, very popular character back in the day.
It may be a wee bit controversial, but I think she could have done a better performance than Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
Well, she's
I think
definitely
I
got.
could have done a better job than that.
A dog with half its face missing would have done a better job. A
Now,
cockroach
see,
would have done a-
I think if they actually would have used this setting, which is the actual amusement park,
Yeah.
it would have worked so much better.
It was all
Yeah.
sideshows, yeah.
Like, I think that would have been such a good idea to have a proper horror Cyberman story with that abandoned space, whatever you would refer to it as.
Yeah.
See, there are a mixture of ideas stolen from various episodes throughout Doctor Who's history in this one.
Yeah.
You know, it's the chess thing is really a kind of bit of throwback to Fenric in that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
See, for me, the whole chess thing with the Doctor, especially how Matt performs it with Mr. Clever, that is
Yeah.
by far for me the highlight of this of the whole episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's when it gets a bit interesting. But when you see the Cyberman and that, and
Yeah.
coming along and that, and
Yeah.
then the fast moving Cybermen.
Yeah. Goes into the
That's where it
cyber
gets
war and all that.
downhill.
That's the interesting bit.
Yeah, now a few people have commented. I don't know what it was with the Moffat era and kids. It was just like, stop having kids in episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
really
was
bad
his. I
series
think
eight.
that was his roundabout way because he
Yeah.
wasn't as good as a writer as RTD at getting the kids involved and
Yeah.
keeping kids interested by having kids on some of the journeys with
Yeah.
him. I think that was the whole reason why he actually did it.
The problem is they're always written, and these two, like the lad's not as bad. It's the girl who
Yeah.
just comes across as the most ungrateful,
Yeah.
like ungrateful, full of herself type of girl.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot because Clara was also in this story.
Yeah.
I mean, they get an adventure in an alien time machine, and they get to arrive on this kind of planet and all that, and they're absolutely not happy about it. They're not enthused.
Well, the
about
lad
it.
is.
Typical
The lad is
millennial
actually.
He is, but she isn't.
Typical.
So this is obviously based on the automaton Turk or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
freak shows, isn't
Mechanical
it? They're,
Turk, yeah.
Yeah.
they're pulling from sideshows and freak shows of like the Victorian era.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I think honestly, when I watch
Oh,
this
it
again,
predates that. It's the 1700s, I think they did that.
yeah, because I might by the end I've sort of got what I think this honestly this story, some of the core ideas are actually really good.
Yeah, bad
Yeah.
execution.
It's just the overall how it was translated which failed.
Yeah.
There's porridge. Oh dear.
For porridge.
I did like the tiny cyber mats in it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, and it makes
And they
sense.
got his size
Obviously.
wrong.
They could have
Yeah.
had a crossover of the Autons with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice to see Warwick actually have a serious role. Like, he's not being like comedy relief.
Yeah.
Or even have a
Yeah.
Dalek in it as well. A lone Dalek.
Well, he was in Willow as well. You've got to remember, Willow wasn't a comedy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I just mean
so-
when this episode would have gone out, he was very much known for the comedy.
No, but you are right. Over the
He
years,
was hanging around
has
with Rick
become-
Gervais, yeah.
he has become a lot more into comedy. Yeah. I say he was really pleased with what's his face Cummins Peter Dinklage. I bet you he loved those comments
Oh
by Peter.
yeah.
And by the way, I'm being sarcastic. Warwick Davis has never complained.
No.
Has always got work and has never begrudged any others from
Oh, he
having
loves work. That's what Warwick comes across as. He just loves to do any sort of
Yeah,
job.
he'll do anything. Yeah.
See, this is it when she's moaning now, and it's just like, love, you're on like this planet on a spaceship. Like, really?
Hornswoggle didn't like the comments by Dinklage, did he?
Well, it's backfired on him now. It has.
Oh, you'd think
And
it has.
also, he's kind of ruined. He
time.
has kind of ruined
Big
it now
time.
for other people because
Vertically challenged people, yeah.
like I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. Like Peter is a great actor, love him, and those comments are just. He's like look at the way I look at it is now is when it comes to Hollywood celebrities, ignore them all, even the ones that are supposedly got their heads screwed on.
Yeah, because they
and
come
know
out with
what's
something
going on.
stupid.
Yeah,
'Cause
they
I thought
always end.
Cumberbatch was like that, and then he's been coming out with some
Yeah.
rubbish
So
lately.
just ignore them
Yeah.
all. Ignore every single one of them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
quite
what did you expect to happen? Like you've got a Cyberman.
Look at
Yeah.
that though.
No, this is creepy. This is proper Gaiman. You can definitely.
Yeah.
This feels like a proper Gaiman
You're on a
Sorry,
different
moment.
planet, love. You won't have a phone service. No satellites. There probably is satellites, but not for your phone.
She's not our mum.
God, these kids are annoying.
But it's
No,
a very,
I think
a
the
very
boy
intelligent way
is grand.
doing
It's the
things.
girl.
Yeah.
It
The
is
boy
the
is
girl.
fine. It's the girl.
Yeah.
She's
Such a
just
typical
annoying.
millennial, yeah.
See, and this is some nice little like background information on the cyber war.
Yeah.
And the fact I also quite like the idea of that it was so hard to fight them that they ended up just nuking
Yeah.
planets. Like that was the only option they had left.
Yeah.
But didn't the Daleks do the same? In the end, and even in the Time War that they nuked Gallifrey?
Well, yeah, and I do think obviously we've got the 50th in a couple of episodes' time, so
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
sort of echoing, I think, on purpose, the Time War.
Yeah. If you want to get rid of the Jodie Whittaker era, this might be the idea. Just saying. Cybermen, Pete's World, Last Human Survivors.
Nah, we don't really
Just
care
saying.
anyway, to be quite
I
honest
know.
with you.
I just want to see the end of it.
It's nearly over, so
Yeah.
you know, I have to give it to Moffat and RTD and even Chibnall. The fact that they're still able to pull in the star power, if you think about it, like
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah, but
Like-
that's just the Doctor Who name, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
shut
bored.
up.
Oh God.
I'm a millennial.
Oh.
Yeah.
God.
She doesn't know what she's.
I think that's the same room they used for the episode with the with
Fish
Jenny.
people?
The Jenny
Yeah, I was
episode.
thinking that. It looks very
The
similar
half.
to
It's like the same hall.
Yeah.
I think it's the same hall.
Because this is creepy. This is some nice creepy
Doctor's
shots.
daughter. That's the episode I was thinking of.
Even if
Yeah.
there was a Dalek in there as well, it would kind of
Yeah.
set the episode off a wee bit.
Kind of a House of Horrors. Galactic House of Horrors.
But
This is a
imagine
bit
the
like-
Doctor playing.
House of
A game of
Horrible
chess
Action.
with a
I know that
Dalek.
much.
Oh, don't you start.
Tell me about the little bloke. Oh, that's very
cancel.
politically correct in the
Tut,
future.
tut, tut, tut.
Yeah.
God, slap her.
Stop talking about a doctor's penis like that.
Well, are you bored now,
That's
love?
just ridiculous.
In fairness, though, he did
completely
update the
ridiculous.
Cybermen here, and I like that. They're wearing
The
his
design
Lovely
isn't that
Cybermen,
bad.
His design's nice.
The
The
It's
design
design's
is
really
a lot
fine,
good.
but it's the
sleeker, isn't it?
movements is just completely ridiculous. I mean, it just going fast like that. It's
Yeah,
just,
this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. I
I
think the
don't- I don't-
design's alright though. I quite like
Yeah.
this design.
yeah.
I don't
I think
know. I
that's
actually
what
like
kind of
this.
pissed me off about
That
this
is so
episode.
bad. That is
Nah,
so bad.
I like that. I
Oh,
thought
that's
that was
so
good.
bad.
Nah,
That's
I
bad.
thought it was good at the time, and I think it's good now. It's just,
It wasn't good at the time. It was embarrassing at the time.
oh, you be quiet, you.
It's a bit-
Yeah, but there's no
Bad.
explanation for them to be able to do that. They got chronoton generators or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was explained. That's the thing. That's what I like about Moffat. So he did explain certain things, which is important. You know, I thought that
Oh,
looked a
and
bit.
here we go. Here we go. Clara's in charge.
Oh no, it'll go to
Yeah.
her head. She'll turn into Vladimir Putin. She'll invade somewhere by the end of it.
I remember at the time, and when I watched this again, just thinking like, why would the Doctor do that? Like the Captain's not shown that she's like bad at her job.
Yeah.
She's not shown she's like incompetent at all, and he just takes the authority away from her and gives it to Clara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's got no military experience whatsoever.
There's an alien on this planet, technically.
Yeah,
He's just
So-
basically feeding Clara's ego at this
yeah,
point.
it's all it comes across as, doesn't it?
Yeah.
See that? I like that, the half-done cyber foes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, look at her now. She's acting like a proper like major general, and it's like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you were a nanny like how many episodes ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom. Oh god, she's so up her own ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, by how?
Because the Doctor made her.
Yeah, but they don't even know who the hell he is. You know, like
Yeah, they
it's
don't
not
know he's the Emperor of
established.
the universe yet.
Just complete.
Oh, come on. Everyone should have seen this episode long time ago. I'm not spoiling it. I love the way he delivers that line.
That's what I mean. Warwick's actually really good in this
Very
episode.
sharp. Yeah.
He's a good. He's
Yeah.
very. That's what I'm saying. Warwick is a good actor, though. It doesn't matter about how tall he is or whatever. You know what I mean? I just see him as a good actor.
I would love him to come back for an episode or to be like a side character for a little bit in Who.
You
I
could
think
have
he's
him as an
brilliant.
Ardle sort of character. You could
Yeah.
have him as a reoccurring character, like
Yeah.
I think
pop
he
up
would
once
play
in
Or
a
you
while
could-
to help the Doctor.
Or you could bring back the Thoris Beatons again and have Nibble Shaban back as well. and
Yeah.
Have a whole load of them back. I mean, there's
would-
plenty of things you could actually do with older actors that have previously appeared in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially ones like Warwick, who just had like one
Yeah.
episode, sort of one
Yeah.
shot characters.
Yeah.
Don't go in there. It's a trap, man.
It's a tricky trap.
Doctor, it's a trap.
That's correct. That's said. This is the proper game and dialogue. It's like you brought us
Yeah.
the children. It's like,
Savior of the
what are you doing with the kids?
See what Gaiman had written into this episode was the fact that he was trying to use the Cybermen's transhumanism for this
Is
episode.
this the same
And
castle
it-
they used for the Lord of the Rings super fans thing event?
Yeah.
The one in, that's the
Looks
one in
like-
Milan. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's in Milan.
I
But
love
it looks
that.
so
She's
much
just
like
saying, "Can you bring the kids back?" Look, you let them come. You're the one who's put them in danger.
Yeah. It's all Clara's fault.
Yeah.
All Clara's fault.
See, I said I love this idea of the amusement park. Really do.
Yeah. It's rather like the Space Museum in a way.
Yeah.
The idea of like kids being snatched slowly and
Yeah.
people being snatched slowly to be used as parts.
Cybermen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah, it's like Revelation of the Daleks crossed with a space museum.
Yeah, and it's just a wee bit kind of too
So there
like
you
the
go.
Borg from
Cybermen
Star
use
Trek.
human parts. I'm a Time
Yeah.
Lord, so he's not supposed to be compatible. Yet somehow in
Yeah.
the timeless,
Yeah,
formless
yeah,
children,
of course.
it
But look, they
works.
don't. None of it
Me,
is.
I'd like this episode a little bit more because of that. Fine.
Someone should actually clip that line.
Yeah.
Clip that little that scene where it says, and then throw it up. I've always said that anyway. It made no sense that the cyber lords existed. Number one,
Yeah.
they were dead anyway, right? So that's another.
Yeah, dead material is
Yeah.
not what's used for
Yeah,
cyber
right.
conversion.
So that was that alone itself makes the cyber lords null and void. But the fact
Yeah.
that
They
he
have to be
said it there
alive.
now in this episode, no, they need
Yeah.
human parts. That
Oh, I
says
love
it.
this now. This Matt playing against himself.
He's
They
done
also
that
need
a
a
couple of
live
times.
brain and nervous
Yeah.
system.
I know, but this is more of a real, like, sort of two sides fighting.
Yeah.
It's not like the Almost people when it was like a clone almost and a different version of him. This is in his own head.
Yeah.
And the fact that he can just flip between Doctor and Cyber Planner.
See, this episode does highlight that Matt Smith is quite capable of kind of pulling things like this off, and he's quite good at it as well. And
He's very good.
Oh, and especially when he's tied down after this bit, and he's purposely you don't know which side's talking, and he just pulls it off so well.
Yeah.
This is the episode when the rumors were flying he was going to be a villain in a Star Wars movie. I was like, oh God, yes, yeah, Matt can do that because I
They
remember
filmed all the scenes as well.
Yeah, but I could just remember the rumor, and I was just like, I remembered this episode and his performance, and I was like, yeah, he can be like a proper Darksider in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and look, no timeless children.
Yeah.
So the Cyber
They were
Planet
Morbius's regenerations, I tell you.
To me, the Timeless Children's just a complete lie. It's a fabrication.
Yeah.
But like this is another episode which purposely says here's the lineage.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so now that the Cyber Planner, who's technically in his head.
That would be a clever though, Super Doctor, if you found out it was Rassilon set it the whole thing up.
Yeah, I was actually thinking it was Omega because Omega had been the one that discovered how to create time travel and the black hole and the experiments and that.
Yeah. That would be clever though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, like I said, I just love this stuff. Because it's like it's the way he's talking now. It's like he's rolling his R's a bit. He's properly.
Yeah.
You can hear it in his voice. He's relishing.
Yeah.
Being able to do this.
A bit like Sylvester McCoy there.
Yeah, you can definitely see Sylvester a bit in the Cyber Planner when he does it.
Yeah. But when an actor is doing that, and all the body language and everything like that, the actor is really loving the part that he's playing.
Yeah. He's supposed to be a soldier, for God's sake.
Yeah, but the whole point, which I think this is one of the stupid ideas, this whole that the basically
Don't move,
the reject.
I'm in the army, and then runs away. She had a clear shot and she ran away.
Well, basically, these are the rejects. That's the whole point of the platoon. But it's like, why would you even have a platoon of rejects?
Yeah. Why would you send a platoon of rejects out to do this job?
Would you not just, I don't know, fire them?
Well, you see, they put the rejects in because they didn't think there was any more threat of the Cybermen. So they just sent them off somewhere out of the way so they wouldn't be, so they wouldn't probably infect.
They sent the A-team off the River Song.
Military,
Yeah,
with
but they
their
would never be in
stupidness.
the army in the bloody first
Yeah,
place.
that's the
Exactly, yeah.
problem. It's not
Yeah.
like they're not the best soldiers.
Yeah,
They're
but if there were,
proper-
but you're
This is
forgetting,
national service.
you are forgetting that the universe and the war was happening in space and the Cybermen, so everybody came together. So it didn't matter whether you were shit or not; you were drafted either way.
National
So that's how they
service,
were
yeah.
soldiers.
Yeah, fair enough, but
but
bloody
no,
hell.
the war's over now. So why would they still
Yeah,
have
but
them
they'd still
to do?
stay on because they'd keep them there. They wouldn't just discharge them because they can leave someone there while the rest of them can go out and live out their lives thinking that they're safe away from a Cyberman attack.
But yeah, Blondie here is,
Well, she's
super
determined to
competent.
blow everything up.
Yeah,
Everyone else, not so much.
a bit of a rip-off idea from Earthshock.
Yeah. A ticket.
Wasn't just a joke. It actually serves the plot.
Yeah.
And that's the first bit of explanation to the gold thing in the new Who series, because the Cybermen are allergic to gold in the classic series.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell it's a very deliberate callback to that.
Yeah. There's too many callbacks in this and too many rip-offs of classic episodes in this one.
Yeah. It's a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it's a bit of kind of mess of ideas and everything like that all put together.
And I guess kind of Series 7 Part 2, though, it's got some really good ideas but very bad execution.
Yeah.
I love how they were just like letting her go, and it took somebody else to shoot her.
Yeah. That was clever.
Yeah, that's a clever. I prefer that over the running fast thing, like because it's actually you can tell it's thinking.
Yeah.
He's a bit like James Corden.
I was gonna say it does have that air, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Got one.
But you can see he did. Less annoying than they were because at least they shut up.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's a bit easier to actually
Yeah.
handle now.
I made the kids good.
That's the best performance they've put
Look
on
at
in
that!
this
She's
episode.
literally like aiming a gun at him now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Somebody tries. I can't. Nobody can argue with me. She's not abusive.
She is very abusive, and even maybe this is the early extents
Yeah.
that Clara's been abusive towards the Doctor.
Well, she does hit him again in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is when you obviously get Eccleston's Doctor
Yeah.
coming through on Matt.
Yeah.
It was like the kind of same thing in the Almost People. That
I know because it is. You can tell it's that idea of working backwards
yeah,
with what's happened.
yeah.
Hit me.
Oh.
I do love that line.
So this is what I mean. It's so seamless. He's switching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand how. I don't know. It's not very cyber.
No.
No, it's
But
not.
the problem is it's
I put that down to his
because
physiognomy.
the Cybermen are logical, and
Yeah.
that's how they could play the game of chess in battle against the Doctor. It's like the Doctor playing against Fenric.
Yeah. It's too
The
Yeah,
blunt.
Cybermen fly. They
Yeah.
fly now.
They fly now. No, and I also think with the Cyber Planner, the Cyber Planner
Yeah.
is always a bit different because there's a sense of ego almost, whereas a
Yeah.
normal Cyberman would not have that because all the emotions have been removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Planner always seems to have
Has
a
the
bit of
Doctor's
that.
ego. Yeah.
So it's like the Doctor's playing against the ego of the Planner and trying to taunt him.
I think the designs are a wee bit better in the Cybus versions.
Yeah.
They're
Much
less
better.
clunky.
Yeah, they're
Clunky
more
and chunky.
streamlined, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, making that guarantee. You don't know if it's in his mind. You don't know what it's capable
Yeah,
of.
it's a really
Yeah.
stupid test she's trying to do. And it's also really stupid that she put her hand down with the trigger on the table.
What's a mag light? What's a mag light with a button on it?
Yeah, sounds like something they'd do in Doctor Who at that point.
No.
Yeah.
Poltergeist.
Yep.
Hello, Melina.
Hello,
Hey,
Mini
Mona.
Maddie. Yeah. One gun is really not going to do a lot, mate. Not
Yeah.
against that many.
Yep. I agree with that. It was
Yeah.
a
Yeah, but
pointless.
it's a Doctor move. It's a very Doctor thing to do.
Ripley's, believe it or not.
Because he's a well-known actor.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm watching him in Line of Duty right now. With Daniel.
Yeah.
I love that face you just pulled.
Yeah.
Could you be any more overdramatic, love? Oh, that's good. Even Melina can't stand the kids. So even Melina agrees with us on that front.
Duck and run.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't think, oh, this is brilliant. Just move. Hey, at least it's not technically just the Sonic that saves
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
He uses something else.
Just ask the Cybermen why and got them to work.
Why
on
didn't he
it.
do that in the start?
Yeah, it's a bit of a
Yeah, cop out that.
yeah. It was the why ending, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Smart ass.
Yeah, just a bit.
Oh God! Just
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
kill
Yeah.
her.
such a
weak.
millennial.
I know everything, and I'm better than all of you.
I'm
Oh,
the
jeez.
bestest ever.
Oh, you guys,
God.
I've watched
Yeah.
this and In the Forest of the Night over a bleeding weekend, and I was overloaded with snarky kids.
Yeah.
I was just
Should
like,
have watched
thanks,
Kill the
Matt.
Moon with it, and he would have head would have exploded.
Probably, yeah.
Ah! No more smoking kids.
It was like, and I was like, come on, have enough of that in real life. I don't
Yeah,
need it in
deal
Doctor
with it at
Who.
work. That was a cool effect.
There's some lovely effects in this.
Yeah.
You think they would upgrade if they can move fast? They would have gotten to it a bloody sight quicker than stomp, stomp, stomp.
Yeah.
You know, duh.
I wish she did. I just wish
Oh
she
yeah,
did.
wouldn't it have been good?
Bye!
Goodbye, Clara.
Bye-bye, Clara.
Oh, Clara, will you marry me, please, please?
Clara, Clara, you're the bestest.
One of my companions once married Brian Blessed.
And that turned out so well for her.
Yeah, Baruni.
I love Matt's face here.
Yeah.
Go on, Matt. You married him.
Oh yeah, it's funny. Like the millennials, like what you could be queen of an empire. I thought they were against it. Imperialism.
Yeah, imperialism.
Oh, but if they're in charge, Lee, it's a different story.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. Well, he took that rather well.
Yep.
But it did sort of come out of nowhere, the proposal. Like, they were you could tell they like got on, but it wasn't, for me, romantic and all at once. He's like, oh yeah, I'll marry you then.
Probably marry her for kinky sex. You don't know.
Yeah.
Put him in the dark ages. Give it 20 years, it'll be the Renaissance. Whoops.
Oh, bit of toxic masculinity there.
Oh no, well no, it was Moffat's
Yep.
midlife crisis showing.
Yeah. He's desperate. He's horny. Horny emperor.
That's got to be one of the laziest control rooms of a spaceship I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's a throne room, though. It's not a control room.
Oh.
Ben's a troll.
That's an episode I like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's the name,
this is
isn't
a
it?
great
The name of the
episode.
doctor.
This is the
Yeah.
one where Strax now fights the Scottish man. This is the episode,
Yeah.
finally. I actually do like this episode.
Yep.
It's a good one.
Oh, I love,
What is your name?
yeah. But that scene when he talks about Translaw.
Yeah,
It
this
was
is
just
where
what
he,
a
Disney.
Jason with the doctor's name in that one.
Yeah, isn't this the one where he? No, it's a few
Yeah.
episodes later. Then he starts crying and.
Yeah.
No,
tells-
it's
No,
next.
this is the episode
It's the
he
episode
does
coming up
cry.
where he
Ah.
breaks down because he tells Clara what actually Translaw is and what it means for him. Because he's not actually told her at this point.
But it has a weird ending, yeah.
Oh, just close that shit anyway. There we go. Right, well, I'll start first. If you take the kids out of this story, and explained a few of the things a little bit better, I think this could have very easily been an 8 or a 9 out of 10 episode. But for me, because the kids are so annoying, and even coming off the TARDIS still annoying, and the fact that certain things weren't explained, I'm going to give it a 6. 6. So there you go. That's what I think of that episode. Anyway, Lee, you're next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's some good again. You know, there are some good ideas in there. But it's something that looks like it should be over a couple of episodes. And yeah, it's the girl that's more annoying than the boy. But it's at least they were quiet for like most of the episode. So there was that. The Cybermen, just the moving fast thing just looked really bad. And it was just like, well, if you can move that fast at the start of the episode, but you can't move that fast to stop the bomb, it just seems a bit, it's not very well thought out. It looks to me like this, if that script had been left on the bus, it looks to me like it was stolen, and they had to rewrite it in a hurry, to be...
Yeah.
Again, the sort of inconsistency in the plot, and these characters don't really give a shit about. They're all completely useless. It's a wonder they survived, quite honestly. Yeah, then the character of the circus guy, whatever his name is, Mr. whatever it was. He sort of disappeared at the end of the story somehow. So did he die? I can't remember if he died or what happened. But
Well, he probably got blown up with the planet.
oh yeah, which no one seemed to give a shit. It's another innocent victim that sort of it's almost Chibnall level, quite honestly.
Yeah.
The Cybermen design was okay, but I think they just made it too much like the Iron Man. Which is something I think Chibnall managed to sort of semi-fix with the helmet, at least. It's a great performance by Matt Smith. I have to say he's the only sort of character that held it together. But it was just a bit over the top, and the sort of cyber planner.
Oh, Mr. Clever. And then
there's a lot of cringe.
Yeah.
A lot of cringe dialogue in this. And it's a lot of it seems quite lazy and thrown together, and it's a bit incoherent. So I don't really, and at the end he just did the thing with the sonic screw again. The Deus Ex Machina, used the sonic screwdriver with this conveniently placed thing which you put on your hand, and then it just happens to be there. Well, why didn't you use that at the start?
Yeah.
It's just full of inconsistencies and cringe dialogue and pretty substandard acting. It's complete filler, and it's a shame because it's one of the good writers who wrote one of the great comic series of all time, for me anyway, The Sandman, Neil Gaiman. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm just waffling at this point.
Right.
I'll give it a 4.5 out of 10.
No problem. Charlotte.
Yeah, I will start with the positives, because even though this episode's got a pretty infamous reputation, there is good in there. And I do think it's the more core concepts which get lost. But I'll start with the positives. I quite like the idea of that the Cybermen have been reduced to sort of skulking about in the shadows. They're weak.
Yeah, always background characters.
And that they sort of are in this state. Because I think it just suits the setting, which I think it really should have been, which was the amusement park. That frustrates me, if anything, because it's there. And I just think maybe it was money thing, or I don't know what stopped them from actually using it. But I just think that as a proper physical set, having these rundown attractions and stuff like that, because you could have still had the wax museum type of thing, but just as that be a small part and the rest actually be the amusement. So I really love that idea. I like it when they do go with the creepy stuff, like the conversion things with the stealing the kids when it was a park, and the sort of people disappearing. And then I do think if the whole Doctor being taken over thing would have been more fleshed out in the episode, because I do think Matt really does pull that off brilliantly, this two sides fighting each other. And yes, there are times when it is over the top, but I think Matt, for all the over the topness when he is Mr. Clever, there's also some really sinister moments, some really shiver down your spine sort of moments. So I remember after I first watched this, that was what stuck out to me. It was Matt's performance. So Warwick, like I said, I actually think he gives a really good guest performance here.
I have to disagree. I think he's a pretty bad actor, quite honestly. I thought, especially in that last scene with Clara.
Oh no! I think he's good when he's porridge, when he's not sort of hamming it up, and he's been a bit more, and he's been given some more serious lines. I really like the scene, and I think it's because he's not being comedic when he's talking to the captain before she dies, and he's sort of talking to her because she recognizes him. And you do get that sense of that sort of serious emperor for a couple of minutes. And I just think when he's allowed to do that, it works. It's when near the end, I do agree with you, he's then going a bit more campy. And it does show. But I do think when he's allowed to do serious, it works. I was going to say there was some other, those sort of main positives, but yeah, the kids, they were another example, and we got plenty afterwards in this era of them just being smart Alex, just knowing better, just coming across as self-important.
Moan holes.
And I just never understood, and I still don't, why you had that seemed to be the default for whenever they had kids in this era. They never seemed amazed. They never seemed like with any wonderment.
Yeah.
Because
Moffat,
they're just so cynical now. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
sort of,
they were just always written as cynical, which is weird because when Moffat talks about kids and the show in interviews or anything, he does say it's a thing of wonderment. He does talk about that feeling of wonderment, but he never put it in his era. So that's one many things I'll never understand about this run when it comes to Moffat's attitude out of the show, and then when he actually did write them. Yeah, I still think the whole platoon thing's stupid. I don't like it. I understand the idea of, well, everybody would be drafted, but would you get that much of a group of rejects?
and it's amazing they've managed to survive at
Yeah,
all.
and that's more what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. I can understand having, if they wanted to have like the D team sort of idea, but at least the D team could come across that they could actually kill and do their job.
Yeah.
At
Whereas
least be
this one
competent.
just comes across as absolutely incompetent, and it's
And they
amazing.
needed Clara to get
Yeah.
you know to get them to do their thing. Come on.
Yeah, and this is the other thing. This is, I said at the beginning of this season, Clara wasn't showing the signs of what was to come, and in the last couple of episodes, and this one being another one, the whole playing to her ego is now happening more. The Doctor just giving her power and responsibility for no apparent reason, except from, I don't know, because he fancies her at this point, because that's what they're clearly trying to imply, that there's a romantic attraction there. And I just think the Doctor wouldn't, like, surely he's learned from Rose as well about the romantic sort of how it never ends well, and not to sort of feed their egos a companion, because that's what happened with Rose. She got more egotistical, and that's what got her to have a not very good ending. So I don't buy that the Doctor would repeat the same mistake with Clara. Yeah, so like I said, the Clara thing, the kids, I agree, the whole upgrading thing seems to just be used as a plot device at times. And like I said, and honestly, the frustration with bits of this, because I can see in another draft, or like I said, Gaiman has spoke about this, and he has said in interviews that basically, I don't know if he was talking about Moffat interfering or just the BBC higher ups in general, but apparently there was a lot of his ideas being changed and things being put in the script that he didn't originally want in there, and it really does show. So I just, and that's why he's also said in the past why he didn't come back to write an episode, because of just the experience he had with this one. So like I said, it's not
probably a bit unfair then for me to sort of plop that down on him. It does sound, because you know, when I say it's Chibnall-esque almost, it's more than likely because of, you know, higher ups.
Yeah, well, that's you got to take it with some salt because it's him, but the way he has spoken in the past, it does come across as he's telling the truth. That there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on with this, and some of the plot issues aren't really his fault. So, like I said, what will I give this? I'll give this a 4, because, like I said, there is some little really good bits, but you can't not talk about the overall massive issues with this story.
And I think as well, if you look at, you know, the very first Cyberman story, you know, the Cybermen were much more central to the story. That he had not characters necessarily, but they had sort of sufficient dialogue. And that's only really delivered through Matt Smith here. And I think it's a shame that in the New Who era, they've never really gotten the Cybermen right at all.
Well, I think the only one they've really got right is it was the first story they got, which was the 2-parter Age of Steel, because they were
to a point. But you know, again, the sort of actual communication and dialogue between Cybermen and the main characters is somewhat stifled or very limited, and it just seems to me you would get their sort of motivations across clearer than just saying upgrade, delete, and all this kind of stuff. It's like, well,
yeah, and I
if you
would
look
be
at 80s
surprised-
Cybermen or even the the 10th Planet Cybermen, they're giving you a proper exposition, proper.
Yeah.
Well, I would not be surprised if the original script of this, they were a lot more central, and there was a lot more to do with the process and what they had to do and the war in general. And it does. I honestly think that's something that did get messed around with outside of the gamer's control.
What would you give it out of 10?
Sorry, I did say 4.
4 out of 10. Right, yeah. I thought my score was low. But yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Even lower than mine by half.
Yeah. Real Super Doctor?
I would give this a 3 out of 10. I mean, it's a mishmash of ideas that just doesn't fully kind of materialize as a kind of enjoyable, coherent story. I mean, you've got just too many ideas going on. You've got too many kind of plot elements, and they just don't seem to just, it's the coherentness that kind of lacks in it, and basically, what kind of really pissed me off about this episode was the fact that the Cybermen could just move very, very fast, and I can remember watching that episode back in the day, and it was like I just went like, what?
They
Why
did the
did they have
same.
to
They did
move
the same
that
effects.
fast?
They did the same effect that they used in that as they did in The Queen of the Damned, and it was embarrassing then as it was embarrassing there.
Yeah. I
Really bad.
didn't like this episode to begin with. When I learned about it was the Neil Gaiman script that was found in a bus by a girl, and the girl handed it back in because she was afraid to give out spoilers and that.
God,
I
she should have
thought
burnt it. She should have taken
Yeah.
it home and burnt it.
I thought that was kind of a bit pretty a bit stupid. But if you found a Doctor Who
Maybe
script
they were
in a-
deliberately
in a-
trying to lose it.
Right, shh.
or ma-
Yeah.
I know. Sorry.
if you found a Doctor Who script in the bus, you would want to keep it. But if she wanted to
there.
hand it back, it must have been really that bad. Compared to finding Doctor Who and Tanny in an attic and realizing how much that's worth now. But the whole concept of the Cybermen being on this kind of kind of museum kind of sort of thing, it's just it just doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. It's just the Cybermen have no really much got a threat. The threat comes really to the end. It's easily defeated by the Doctor because he gets this kind of hand glove thing and kind of deactivates the Cybermen in his head, and it completely disappears and all that. I just don't think this is really good at all. It's just not really a good episode at all.
It's Chibnall level.
Yeah.
What's your score? Your 3, wasn't it? Sorry.
I kind of tend to agree. It's a bit of a muckety muck of episodes. It's like about 5 scripts just all thrown together and kind of compressed into one to try and make one story, and it hasn't really come out very well. I mean, I found the same problem, annoying kids. One of the big things that annoyed me is the whole Borg thing. The way Matt done a brilliant role. Don't get me wrong, but he was like playing the Borg Queen. It was like. It's like the Borg and the Borg. It's like Matt and the fighting the Borg Queen. It's like that's not Doctor Who.
7 of 9 makeup.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It was just a bit too. It was a bit too Star Trek, and the ending, the whole they're making the Cybermen work on the puzzle and then killing the controller. It's like it's the old Star Trek Y ending. It was a bit too more Star Trek than Doctor Who. I think this one, and I understand what you didn't like about the Cybermen. I mean, I can understand that. I quite liked them, but yeah, the time dilation thing, the way they can emit chronoton particles and run faster, wasn't explained, and it was no point doing that. I mean, because some of the stuff they were doing, I thought was pretty was pretty good, like taking their heads off and their hands off. I think that was
And
quite
it would have been interesting to have seen them actually sort of upgrading from the Cybers-looking Cyberman to
Yeah.
the new one, like seeing a process of that. That would have been.
Well, we got that later on in Capaldi's run, didn't we?
yeah.
In World Enough in Time and all that. We properly saw
Yeah,
that.
that to me is still the best
Extreme fear.
Cyberman
That's a
story,
brilliant
though.
episode. Yeah,
That's still the best
Wonderful
Cyberman
episode.
story, though. Seriously.
Yeah,
wonderful
I
two-part.
love
That is.
that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But I
Think
don't
it
think
is.
it was brilliant. I didn't like the Ripley or not, Believe It or Not thing. It was like you went to a theme park planet, as Charlotte said, and you want to go look at the Ripley's Believe It or Not. It's like, why didn't you just make it Ripley's Believe It or Not planet?
Yeah.
Like a waxwork planet or
I
something
mean, he's
like that.
called Ripley, wasn't he, as well, which is just kind of like on the nose.
Yeah. It's like, it's like, why did you just make it? Why didn't you make it the kind of the museum planet, the waxwork planet or something? I quite like Warwick in it. I know some people, Warwick's a love-hate relationship with some people, but I thought he was all right. But yeah, I mean, I'll give it about 6.5. It's not great.
6.5.
Not terrible,
Yeah.
but not brilliant, if you know what I mean. Meh.
Yeah. Well, next week's episode will be definitely an improvement on the ratings, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's because it's a good old story. But we'll do the channel shout. So we'll start with Lee yet again first. So, Lee.
Yeah, you
Channel
can
Social
follow me
medias.
on the cancer that is social media, Twitter, BBC. What am I talking about?
That'll be the day.
Oh,
You
yeah,
working with the BBC now, are you?
Well, I didn't like to brag. Yeah, you can catch me at Twats, arguing with people. And on YouTube, on my alternative channel, which has my work on there, it's Audred Audio Visual AUDIED.
Thank you very much, Queen Charlotte.
Yeah, so you'll catch me on the Spacebook for Type 40. That's both the podcast. And like I said, on Tuesday, you get to listen to me and Dan, Wendy and Ian suffer through In the Forest of the Night. So if you want to hear another fun review of a not very good episode, listen to us Tuesday coming up. And then me and Daniel, last week, we had our Line of Duty episode 4 review. And we're sort of doing a couple of weeks break. And we'll be back on the 25th, if my memory's working, for Line of Duty. And we've also got a few streams planned for after Line of Duty. And one of them is actually, which was Daniel's idea, which is sort of the female perspective of the current era. So Wendy are going to do that stream coming up.
Fantastic.
So those are the sort of things we'll be doing.
Brilliant. PD?
You can find me on the Rabbi for Another Planet normally when he tells me he's streaming. Like earlier today, I didn't know he was streaming, so I wasn't around today. And we're doing one last show with Dave tomorrow. We're doing the JJ Verse Star Trek. So you'll find my Dave Travels Through Time tomorrow evening, British time, GMT, doing Star Trek 2009 to Beyond. And I think that's it. We're not going any further after that.
Fantastic. And Real Super Doctor.
I've got a Twitter account under Real Super Fugitive Doctor, and I've got a YouTube channel under Real Super Doctor. Can I change the name back?
Yay, so he's changed the name back. There you go. And you can find me here on the TARDIS Zone. Like, share, and subscribe to all of the channels. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream. And we will see you again during the week. Have a good one, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Enjoy the last few hours of the weekend. Of course, we have a bank holiday weekend coming up in Ireland, with Patrick's Day coming up and stuff. So we might have a special Patrick's Day stream, me and Cheryl, because we don't really want to go to the parade, too many people and all of that. So we might actually do something special, a few drinkies and stuff like that. So yeah, look out for that. That should be a bit of fun. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Good night, folks. Have a good one. Talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.